Over 40 people were injured in violence that erupted in Nagpur 24 hours ago. The situation has calmed down now. Curfew and prohibitory orders banning large gatherings remain in place in several areas. Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, while making a statement on the floor of the House, which is the Maharashtra Assembly, called the violence premeditated. Opposition Sena says it's the Chief Minister who has to explain the law and order failure. The question that we ask on the show tonight, is the war over a 17th century Mughal emperor gone too far? What explains this vandalism and escalation of tension in Nagpur? First the report, and then I bring in the guests.
Some semblance of calm in Nagpur with curfew imposed at the crack of dawn after clashes between protesters and the police. The action shifting to the Maharashtra Assembly on Tuesday. Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis gave a statement in the Assembly on the violence. While calling for peace, he and his deputy Eknath Shinde warned against the glorification of Aurangzeb. The opposition on its part calls it a blatant failure of the government.
3 DCP लेवलचे लोक या ठिकाणी जखमी झालेले आहेत आणि जसं मी सांगितलं की यातल्या एका डीसीपीवर तर थेट कुऱ्हाडी वार हा त्या ठिकाणी करण्यात आलेला आहे. त्यामुळे निश्चितपणे याच्यामध्ये काही ना काही एक प्रकारे काही लोकांचा सुनियोजित पॅटर्न हा देखील त्या ठिकाणी दिसतो आहे. अशा लोकांना त्या ठिकाणी त्यांच्यावर कारवाई ही केलीच जाईल. पोलिसांवर ज्यांनी हल्ला केला असेल त्यांना काय झालं तरी सोडलं जाणार नाही.
मैं मुख्यमंत्री नहीं हूं, ना ही मैं गृह मंत्री हूं, तो मुख्यमंत्री जो है मुख्यमंत्री जी को पूछो किसका हाथ है, क्योंकि आरएसएस का मुख्यालय वहां है. तो डबल इंजन सरकार की असफलता है और अगर ये सरकार असफल है तो इन्होंने इस्तीफा देना चाहिए.
कि मुख्यमंत्री कार्यालय से क्यों ना कोई रिएक्शन आई जब अफवाहें फैलने लगी थी. कभी भी ऐसी घटना होती है तो पहला रिपोर्ट सीएमओ को आता है, सीएम के मोबाइल फोन पे आता है. क्या उनको पता नहीं था ये होने वाला है?
Giving his official account, Chief Minister read out the timeline of the event in the Assembly, stressing on the pre-planned nature of it. He even alluded to the release of the film Chhawa as a trigger.
तर म्हणजे छावा या चित्रपटाने छत्रपती संभाजी महाराजांचा खरा इतिहास आपल्या समोर आणला. एक प्रकारे प्रज्वलित झालेले आहेत. औरंगजेबाबद्दलचा जो काही राग आहे तो रागही खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात त्या ठिकाणी बाहेर येतोय.
What started with the protests by right-wing outfits in the morning led to serious attacks on the police in the evening, ignited by rumor mongering.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये कायदा आणि सुव्यवस्था राखणं, शांतता राखणं आपल्या सगळ्यांची जबाबदारी आहे. मी नागपुरातली जनता असेल, महाराष्ट्रातली जनता असेल, या सर्व जनतेला ही विनंती करू इच्छितो की सर्व समाजांचे धार्मिक सण हे या कालावधीमध्ये चाललेले आहेत. अशा या सगळ्या परिस्थितीमध्ये सगळ्यांनी संयम ठेवला पाहिजे. कोणीही संयम सोडू नये.
The opposition alleges the flare-up is a massive intelligence failure. The location being Nagpur, the home turf of Chief Minister, didn't help. Remember, Fadnavis also holds the home portfolio.
सुनिश्चित था, नागपुर शहर में था, मुख्यमंत्री का डिस्ट्रिक्ट का शहर है, तो मुख्यमंत्री के शहर में समझो इस तरह की वारदात होती है तो महाराष्ट्र में क्या स्थिति बनी होगी इसका अंदाज इस एक घटना से अपने को समझना चाहिए.
Accountability. The city which has the chief minister staying, the city which has the cabinet minister of central staying, and we don't have intelligence input that there can be such things.
After the massive outrage in Nagpur yesterday and an even bigger blame game here in Maharashtra's assembly today, question remains on why is there a need for the political representatives and politicians to play with the religious sentiments of the people here in the state? Is it a trend that is going to be followed for the next 5 years? Or does it serve a teaser for the upcoming city civic poll elections? With camera person Mahesh Halwai, this is Anuj Rai reporting for NDTV from Mumbai.
And joining me on the show tonight, PK Jain is former ADGP of Maharashtra. Susi Bensha is national spokesperson of the Shiv Sena Shinde faction. We have Arvind Sawant, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena Member of Parliament, Mahesh Chavan, is national spokesperson of NCP Sharad Pawar faction, and RP Singh is the national spokesperson of the BJP. I'm going to begin with Arvind Sawant first. Devendra Fadnavis, Mr. Sawant, says that the violence in Nagpur is premeditated. The charge being leveled against your party and the entire Mahavikas Aghadi is that the genesis of this violence is the statement which was made in the favor of Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb by Samajwadi Party MLA Abu Azmi.
No, before that it has. Not only Abu Azmi. It started long back. It started with Honorable Prime Minister. When during the parliament session, parliament election, he said, "Aapka Mangal Sutra छीन कर ले जाएंगे." Just see the seed which was sowed by the Honorable Prime Minister. "Aapka Mangal Sutra छीना जाएगा." Then the other Chief Minister of UP, he said, "Katenge to batenge." What it means? Who is going to cut you? Or who is going to butt you? And these are the questions. We started with that. The plinth of the genesis of all these issues starts from there, and then it goes on growing, and it is being used by the party as and when they feel they are not successful in whatever promises they are given to the public, and when they want to hide all these things, they sow another seed, or they ignite it, or they instigate someone to make any statement, and with that statement they start to flare it up throughout the country. That is what their modus operandi now.
Okay, Mr. Sawant.
They do it in every state. They are doing it right now also in the country. Most deplorable, I can tell you. Most deplorable statements. One who is ruling should behave properly, should use his words to make the people united, to use his words to pose the confidence in the government. That is what is not happening. The people are always worried.
Okay, are you then saying that this has nothing to do with the statement of Abu Azmi?
No, not said. I am not saying it had nothing to do with that. I said not the genesis started with Abu Azmi, started long back. It is played by Abu Azmi, no doubt about it that. But then it started when? Why you forget all these things? You already bought this type of seeds in, you are already sowed it in the soil. And therefore, while you want to polarize, Hindu, Muslim, in every election you are doing the same thing. Forgetting about the very important issues of the living of the common man. How he will live in the country. The poverty, the unemployment, the law and order. Look at Manipur. 2 years it took for the government to take the resignation of the Chief Minister of the Manipur. The violence continued. The Honorable Prime Minister did not utter a single word about it. Till date, did not rush to Manipur to bring the peace over there. No, not at all. There lies the issues. You try to understand this, and to keep it under the you can say the curtain, they raise such issues, and then they divert the entire society, the people of the country. Look what is happening over. What Aurangzeb is the most cruel king of the country, most cruel. He was born in Gujarat. He tried to conquer the entire Maharashtra and the south, but he could not. Even he killed Chhatrapati Sambhaji Raje. Still he could not conquer the Maharashtra. Tara Rani fought with him. 25 years he fought in Maharashtra. Lost the battle and accepted it. He lost it and died here only in Maharashtra. That's his cover, you call cover. Okay, we can show this is a pride for the Maharashtra to see that he is a man who tried to conquer. He is dead. He born there. He wanted to conquer Maharashtra. Maharashtra did not surrender to him. Fought with him. Finally, he dead here. He died here only in Maharashtra.
Okay, Mr. Sawant, my last question to you. Maharashtra Minister Nitish Rane has in fact blamed Abu Azmi, who's the Samajwadi Party MLA, for the violence in Nagpur, and he has said that it was a pre-planned violence to defame the government. The fact is that you have just lost elections few months ago. So are you trying to defame the government, the Maharashtra government of the BJP, the Mahayuti, I should say, because you could not really win in the people's court?
I think then he should see that the statement made by Abu Azmi is also planned one. How come the issue has been raised by Abu Azmi? Why he did not make any statement prior to the session of the assembly? The Shawa was not released during the assembly session. It was released long back. So 2 months or over, he did not utter a single word. During session also, he did not utter a single word on the first day itself. He uttered later on, when the issue of Massajog, the brutal killing of the Sarpanch of Massajog in mid district. The issue is so serious for Maharashtra. You know, they are being blessed by the rulers itself. Killers are blessed by the rulers itself. And there was a fight between the rulers itself. Those who are ruling right now, in between the fight is going on. It happened in the adjacent Parmani district also. It happened in adjacent Jalna district also. Law and order is as miserable in Maharashtra right now. And that is what, to hide all these things, somebody instigated him to make a statement. Who is that man who instigated Abu Azmi to make that statement? That also has to be found out. I demand that. Must find it out. How he could make such statement. What was the reason to make such statement? Who asked him? What for he has made a statement? Who is Aurangzeb? The history shows he was the most cruel king of the Mughals. During his regime, none of the, he himself killed his father, killed his brother. That sort of history is with Aurangzeb. Why it should be? You want to demolish that? Demolish it, destroy it. Who says no? You are double engine now. Who is protecting that cover over there? It's not a monument. It's a small thing. Honorable Prime Minister is there with the ASIs is protecting it. Go and tell him to destroy it.
All right.
Who bothers about it?
All right.
The pride of the country is Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj.
All right.
Is the pride of the country.
Arvind Sawant, thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. RP Singh, a quick response from you on the question that was raised by, certainly he was hinting at some kind of understanding between Abu Azmi and the ruling government there when he says Abu Azmi's statement appears to be planned. Who instigated Abu Azmi? That should be a subject of investigation.
Well, then he should say that they are not part of the India Alliance. They claim themselves to be part of the India Alliance. And Abu Azmi comes from a party which is part of the India Alliance. They go and swag their tails in front of the leaders of India Alliance. So they need to tell now whether Abu Azmi or Samajwadi Party is part of the India Alliance or not. And not only it was Abu Azmi. What did Akhilesh Yadav said thereafter? Akhilesh Yadav said it is issue of ideology. ये विचारधारा की लड़ाई है. So what vichardhara is talking about, what ideology is referring to, they need to come clear on that also. Yes, we have been fighting this ideological war since 713 onward. So with Qasim coming in and then thereafter different rulers coming in for converting India into Islamic state. But that has been there. There's no doubt about it. But shocking is the people who talks about Babri and then their leader chests up about Babri. And they are saying that Abu Azmi is doing it on behalf of BJP. I'm sorry. They need to come clear then. They need to immediately break off from India Alliance and say that we have no alliance with the Sapa and Samajwadi
Perhaps,
Party.
Mr. Mahesh Chavan, there has to be an explanation to this. If the Chief Minister here says that the entire violence is premeditated, of course he is hinting at the entire sequence of events. And it all starts with Abu Azmi's statement, which is followed by Nitesh Rane, Raja Singh, and it doesn't stop then. And then we see this violence play out in Nagpur.
See, first of all, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis is not saying so that it is because of Mr. Abu Azmi.
He says
He wants us to
premeditated.
believe. Listen to me, please. Mr. Devendra Fadnavis wants us to believe that some rumors of burning of some religious material triggered the violence. So why don't they announce the names? Who are those? Who are they? Who spread the rumors? Take stern action against them. Announce their names. You are not doing that. Secondly, today on the floor of the House, Devendra Fadnavis linked this incident to that of the movie Chhawa, right? He said on the in the House that that Chhawa movie triggered or ignited the anger of people. Just a moment.
Yes, go. Yeah, let him finish, sir. Then I'm coming to you. Yes.
No, I would like to comment.
So, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, who is the Chief Minister and who is the Home Minister of the state, he is saying this on the floor of the House that people's anger was ignited because of movie Chhawa. So, what action is he going to take against the movie Chhawa? Is he going to take any action? Secondly, if the Chief Minister and Home Minister of the state, he cannot maintain the law and order situation in his own city of Nagpur, how would he protect the Maharashtra? How would he protect that? You tell me one thing about this, and what he's been saying since the beginning, that Tom should have been removed, but he's not doing so because it is a protected monument of ASI. So why doesn't he take the people who are demanding this of removal? Why doesn't he take them into confidence and tell them that, look, this is pointless, don't demand this, this cannot be done. So what BJP or Mr. Devendra Fadnavis is doing is they are just playing politics. They don't want to remove the Tom. They want to use this issue for their own political
so then,
self.
Susi Ben Shah will respond. No, I'll come to her in before that.
Please.
Before that, yes, RP Singh, yes, go ahead, sir.
First, let me clarify. Tom can be out of the ASI protection because almost more than 130 such monuments were removed from the ASI list between 1958 and 1978. I mean, be a little more knowledgeable about the history and be knowledgeable about the rules of the country. One. Secondly, Fadnavis had never said that all this violence happened because of Chhawa. No way. He said Chhawa raised anger among the Hindus the way our great king was treated by Aurangzeb. But what triggered was Abu Azmi's statement. And then what further Mr. Akhilesh Yadav went and defended the ideology. There's a bigger concern. What are you trying to defend? An ideology which converted India, which converted you and others. We fought against that conversion. We were saved.
My question is now to Susi Ben Shah. The larger, the problem here is that you're talking about a Mughal emperor whose history is not really contested, Susi Ben Shah. Across party lines, across historians, there is this sense that he was one of the most cruel kings that India had seen. Then why is he of such relevance just ahead of the BMC polls in the state of Maharashtra?
A very good evening, Maria. To you, it's always a pleasure to be on your show and all my co-panelists and viewers. Let us understand this. Let's get the correct perspective as far as the Mahayuti government is concerned. The Mahayuti government always walks the talk and are not confused as Mr. Arvind Sawant or Mr. Mahesh Chawla. What we stand for? We stand for development and Hindutva. That is our ideology. We stand committed to the heritage of Hindutva, the culture of Hindus. Let us understand that very clear. One more statement I would like to make, and let Mr. Mahesh Chauhan or Arvind Sawant say what they believe in. For us, for the Hindus of Maharashtra, for the Hindus of India, Aurangzeb is like Hitler was like to Jews. That is the comparison. And we always say 300 years. Arey bhaiya, why should we forget that Aurangzeb was a tyrant? He was an oppressor of Hindus. He levied the jizya tax. He broke the temples. How can we forget? And why should we forget? I want to ask a question to my friend Mahesh Chauhan. Arvind Sawant has left the show. Has they ever condemned the violence? The 33 police officers being targeted. 3 of them were of DCP cadre. tell me the attack, why it was pre-planned. Our Honorable CM very clearly said that after 4 hours of the protest, that they came, they got a truck full of stones, they collected bombs, they collected talwars. Even one of our DCPs was killed with an axe. I mean, was not killed, but was targeted by an axe. Is there any word? I do believe that there are some sane Muslims in this country, but any of the Maulanas, have they condemned the atrocities levied by Aurangzeb on Indians, including Muslims? Nothing. They're quiet. And why do we say this has happened? We say this has happened because of the green color. Now, do you mean to say that the statement made by my friend that a green color ki wajah se, arey bhai, green color, there is no proprietary of the Muslims? What are we talking about? Green is in the BJP flag, green is in our jhanda. So it was a premeditated conspiracy. It is happening world over. Do you think in UK? Do you think in USA? Do you think in Kenya? In Somalia? Is there BJP? Is there RSS? Is there Shiv Sena? But this Muslim community use this common Muslim fan, what should I say, jingoism, and have this protest. And you don't condemn it. Can anyone take law and order in their hands?
Okay, perhaps Mahesh Chavan will respond to that, and then I bring in PK.
I just don't understand.
Maria, this is so surprising. Okay. Maria, this is so surprising. Each and every one of us being condemning this since the incidents has happened.
Why don't you say that?
No, please don't interrupt me. Now, whose responsibility is to maintain law and order situation in the state? Whose responsibility it is to maintain the peace and harmony in the state? It is the state government's responsibility and accountability. But it is their failure. They could not do so. And now they are blaming us. Why? Whose failure was this? Where was the... Please don't interrupt me. Whose failure is it? Why couldn't you know if it is premeditated plan? So why couldn't the police or the state government know about this?
Yes. Why wasn't it prevented? Why wasn't it prevented is the question. And on March 9th, in the Legislative Council, Mr. Fadnavis had said that he supported the demand for demolishing Aurangzeb's tomb, but it should be done in accordance with law because this tomb is part of the Archaeological Survey of India. The fact is that we have seen a series of developments play out. Mr. PK Jain, Nagpur doesn't really have the history of communal violence. There is political back and forth which happens on Aurangzeb. Then we see this violence which starts with one image going viral. And now this is back into the domain of politics. So help us understand. I mean, when the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of a state says premeditated, what is it that he is hinting at?
Maria, good evening. Thank you very much for inviting me in this show. See, let me correct you first of all that Nagpur does not have any communal history. Nagpur does have communal history.
Okay.
And this particular area, which was the scene of riots yesterday, this particular area, there's a road on which side, one side of which is the Hindu locality and the other side is pure Muslim locality. And every time there's a riot in Nagpur, this area is always very badly affected. So a lot of, on all festivals, on all sensitive occasions, a lot of force is pumped in on this particular road to keep the two communities separate. Yet, the incidents do keep taking place. So this is not the first of its kind that has happened in Nagpur. Number two, see, now there is a pattern. Every time there is a Hindu festival or there is some occasion where the Hindus would either raise an issue or they would celebrate a particular event, always attacks are taking place from either a masjid or from other religious place. And whole lot of stones are gathered on the rooftops in the especially Muslim localities. Then you have people having weapons, swords, whatever they have. And this is always a very well-planned exercise. You have seen it over the last few months. It has been happening with a regularity all over the country. Now, where I would talk about the failure and successes. See, I would personally feel that if there was a agitation going on and the situation was building, I think it was in the fitness of things that proper bandobast should have been kept. The officers and men who had gone to manage the bandobast should have been given proper body armor, helmets, and their body protective this thing. Now, what has happened in this case is a violence of this scale cannot be at the spur of the moment. It has to be premeditated, and it is premeditated. Now, see, they wait for the evening. The wait is for the opportune time when the adequate numbers gather. Wait for the opportune time when the proper material to attack the other community or the police has been collected. What I find surprising in this case is that the policemen were chased and beaten. Their vehicles were damaged. An officer of the rank of DCP was attacked with an axe. I mean, it's absolutely shameful. In Maharashtra, we have a very kind of a mantra for handling the law and order situations, especially when it is a communal riot. It is called maximum force at first point of time, because the idea is to contain and quell the situation at the first opportunity. I think adequate force should have been used instead of only sticking to the tear gas shells. I don't know why should we be on the defensive. If the situation so demands, they should have been proper firing. They should have been, even if there's a loss of life, that would be an acceptable fact of life. So I think somewhere the things have not been handled properly. It is not that the intelligence is not there. Intelligence in some measure is there, some measure it may be missing, but the intelligence is always there. And I think there's a professional approach to this kind of a situation which is warranted. I'm sure that the police is on their job. Now they are rounding up the people, identifying them. Every time we hear the same story that the people came from outside, they could not be recognized. And it's a fact that the people do come from outside, they are brought from outside. And so that because everybody knows that the locals will be recognized, they will be prosecuted by the police. So what happens is that some amount of people or some number of people are always brought from outside and used for this kind of violence. I think it's high time that we should use drones to ensure that these stones are not stored on the rooftops. The people who come out, they are identified. In situations like this, we have to be now innovative. We have to move with time so that we gather enough evidence. Otherwise, anonymity becomes their biggest strength, and anonymity becomes the weakest link for the police to further investigate and prosecute such troublemongers. Okay. I think, Maria, something has gone wrong in terms of assessing the situation and then taking the right kind of stern action that was warranted in a situation like this. The action should have been very, very stern. The people should learn the lesson of their lives.
Okay, and Maria, what do you think has gone wrong here? Do you think the genesis could be the statement which was made and then subsequent statements by Nitesh Rane and many others of the BJP? I mean, it did not really stop on one side. It was, playing out on both the sides.
See, Maria, I would not like to make a political statement. The fact is that we keep on having such triggers off and on. I was DIG Law and Order in the state of Maharashtra. One desecration, one burning of Quran in Delhi, few pages of Quran in Delhi, had riots and arson at 27 places in Maharashtra, which was no way concerned with the genesis of the incident. And then also, the first incident took place in Hyderabad, second in Nanded, and the third day the entire state was burning. Similarly, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's statue was desecrated in Kanpur, and we had incidents at 32 places in Maharashtra. So what happens is that what somebody says, I would not use harsh words like foolish and all that, whatever I would like to use such words. If somebody makes a foolish statement, and on that statement, we should be mentally prepared and physically prepared to handle a situation that may erupt anytime in the state. We are sitting on a powder keg, and I think it is high time that we realize that we have no control over the statements and the incitements that are being given in the society, in the social media. We should be prepared to meet any eventuality. There, I think we have gone wrong, either in anticipation or in taking the right kind of action that ought to have been taken.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your views. PK Jain, Susi Benshaw, RP Singh and Mahesh Chavan on the last word tonight. That's all from me on this edition.